Hello everyone, my name is Madeline Elaine, and today I'm going to be doing a Bible study. I'm new at this, I don't really know what I'm doing, but I have just been really feeling... The cat wants in. One second. I have just been feeling really called to do this and to share what I'm learning in the Bible. A little bit about me. I came to Christ at 17. I am 20 years old now. I have a 6-month-old daughter, and I am doing my best. I am not a perfect Christian by any means, but I am reading through the Bible for the first time. I've been reading for the past 3 years, but I have a goal to read through the whole thing in 2022. Right now I'm in Exodus. I've read Genesis several times. I love Genesis. And I really appreciate the Old Testament. I find a lot of really good things in the Old Testament, but I've been studying the Newer Testament books with a friend of mine, and I've been finding some really neat connections between the two. And I just wanted to talk about what I'm learning in Exodus, because I feel like a lot of people don't want to read the older books like that. There are so many good things in Exodus, but the chapters I'm going to focus on are 22 and 23 today. So I have my notes. This is a New King James Version, the Journal, the Word Reference Bible by Thomas Nelson. I have several Bibles by them, and they make really good study Bibles and stuff. So I really recommend them if you're looking for a Bible, especially one with the margins so you can take notes. But in 22, the heading is responsibility for property. And I'm just going to read some of the verses that I found really moving. Chapter 22, verse 3. If the sun has risen on him, there shall be guilt for his bloodshed. He should make full restitution. And then there's a semicolon. If he has nothing, then he shall be sold for his theft. And I thought that was really interesting because it's kind of saying, like, in all of Exodus, it talks about like consequences and the old way of doing things and a lot of works and rules, but I'm trying to apply the concepts to today. And what I got from that little blurb about if he has nothing, then he shall be sold for his theft. Obviously, we're not gonna like sell people today if they steal something, but what that means to me is there are still consequences for doing something wrong. Even if you're not prepared to face the consequences, that doesn't mean that there won't be justice, that there won't be judgment. Because in the end, the Lord sees all. He knows our hearts. He knows, you know, if you have hurt someone, and there will be consequences if you don't make it right. Even if you're not prepared for those consequences, which is kind of a dark theme, but it's also comforting because think about if you have been wronged in life. In the Lord's Prayer, it talks about forgiving others of their trespasses. And the Lord's Prayer goes, Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. And give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. We don't have to worry when people do wrong towards us, because even if he has nothing, he shall be sold for his theft. Even if somebody is not prepared to face the consequences, and even if they don't face the consequences on earth, there will be consequences in the end. So that just is comforting to me, because we don't have to worry about it when people do us wrong or do us harm, or we see injustice in the world, because God sees it and there will be just something done about it eventually. And then another thing in chapter 22 that really struck me was verse 10. Yes. If a man delivers to his neighbor a donkey, an ox, a sheep, or any animal to keep, and it dies, is hurt, or driven away, no one seeing it, then an oath of the Lord shall be between them both, that he was not put his hand into his neighbor's goods, and the owner of it shall accept that, and he shall not make it good. So the Lord is fair. He's going through all of these situations where the theft wasn't like the thief can't pay somebody back, or if it's found that, you know, the neighbor did nothing to hurt this animal that died, then they shall not make it good. All of these rules and all of these situations, even though it is a lot to read through, reminds me how fair God is. He wants to make justice. He wants to make it fair for everyone. And then another one that really struck me was verse 16. If a man entices a virgin who is not betrothed and lies with her, he shall surely pay the bride price for her to be his wife. And that is comforting as well, because I am someone who had a child out of wedlock, and I know that I'm not alone. I know that there are dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of women who are in the same place as me, and it will be made right. And then the last thing that I really liked at chapter 22 was, you shall neither mistreat a stranger nor oppress him, for you were strangers in the land of Egypt. And all of this is so good. There's comfort for women who are out of wedlock. There's comfort for people who have been wronged through theft. There's comfort for people who have all of these different injustices against them, that God is going to make it right. And that is like the whole theme I'm getting in Exodus. Then, oh, hi monkey. In chapter 23, verse 4, if you meet your enemy's ox or his donkey going astray, you shall surely bring it back to him again. If you see the donkey of one who hates you lying under its burden, and you would refrain from helping it, you shall surely help him with it. So this, again, is taking the pressure off of us to make justice, to make things right. It's God's job to do that. It's God's job to judge. We don't judge. We love everyone, even those who hate us, even those who trespass against us, even those that we don't agree with. We're going to help them out if they need help. We will drop everything to help them if we see that they need help, because it's not up to us if they get judged or not, because we don't know if they are going to later down the line, when we don't know them anymore, get saved. We don't know if they're going to make it right and they're going to apologize and they're going to repent. We don't know. And it's a relief to take that pressure off of us. We don't have to be angry. We don't have to be upset and have all this turmoil over, you know, the hurt that they've caused us, because it will be made right. And the Old Testament, you know, there is a better covenant in the New Testament, but there is still so much goodness and so much truth and some really good lessons in Exodus and in these older books in the Bible. And I love this. If you meet your enemy's ox or his donkey going astray, you will surely bring it back to him again. The last thing that I want to talk about today about Exodus is still in chapter 23, near the end, verse 29. I will not drive them out from before you in 1 year, lest the land become desolate and the beasts of the field become too numerous for you. Little by little, I will drive them out before you until you have increased and you inherit the land. So in this context, the Lord is talking about, I will send my fear before you. I will cause confusion among all the people to whom you come, and I will make your enemies turn their backs to you. So he's talking about coming and saving these people and, you know, dealing with their enemies for them. But he's saying he's not going to drive out the enemies immediately. He's not going to do it all in 1 year. He's not going to do it too quickly, because he knows that he needs to do it slowly so that these people can multiply to inherit the land, so that he doesn't make the land desolate so that they inherit nothing. He wants them to inherit something rich and full of life and full of livestock and full of green grass and crops. He wants to do it slowly for a purpose, to make sure that they inherit something good. Because if he does it all at once, then what they inherit will be, like it said, desolate. It'll be dead. They're going to have to start all over. It would be painful. So it's like that that little meme, I'll try to insert it in here, that everybody has seen, where Jesus is asking this little girl for a small teddy bear, and she says, "But I love it, God." And God has a bigger teddy bear behind his back, and he says, "Trust me." God is patient. Oh, 1 second. God is patient, and he is going to do everything in his time. Yes, it's hard when people hurt us, when they trespass against us, but we can take solace, we can take so much comfort in knowing that he's got a plan. Even if it takes longer than we might expect, he's doing it for a reason. He's being patient for a reason, because he wants us to inherit goodness and peace, and we have to find that patience too. Because think about just how long it took for Jesus to come. But God knew that Jesus was coming. In verse 20, it says, sorry, I've got to wrap this up. In verse 20 of chapter 23 still, it says, "Behold, I send an angel before you to keep you in the way and to bring you into the place which I have prepared. Beware of him and obey his voice." So Jesus is coming. It says so in Exodus. It says so in the Old Testament. But look how long it takes for Jesus to come, because God needed to prepare us, to prepare the world for his coming. And it's comforting knowing that God is working, even in the waiting. He is working. He has a plan. We just have to be patient like he is. God is in every little detail. He says in verse 29 of chapter 23, "I will not drive them out before you in 1 year, lest the land become desolate and the beasts of the field become too numerous for you." He doesn't want us to inherit troubles. "Little by little, I will drive them out before you until you have increased, and you will inherit the land." So that's kind of what I got out of these couple of chapters in Exodus. I hope that it was comforting for you. I'm new to this. I don't really know what I'm doing, but I feel called to share what I'm learning with the Lord. I've got to go because I've got a little fuss bucket over here, but I hope you guys have a really blessed day. I love you. God loves you, and be well.